Onstage Rants, Retrofuture Dystopia, and Retrofuture Want. Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business, TLDR in your ear, powered by 30 years of non-machine learning and brought to you by NoDisk, helping music, technology, and finance companies navigate the music industry and partnered with Digital Music News. I'm Lars Murray. It's July 1st, 2025. It's Tech Tuesday, and it feels like we're jumping into the time machine today to the retro future. But before we geek out, with Spotify stock just off of all-time highs and having had a very big week last week, taking it into the high 700s, longtime Bay Area noise, punk, pop, experimental, whatever group Deerhoof turned back the clock to an earlier era when musicians distanced themselves from the defense industry. Deerhoof's retro future move came when they decided to pull their music from Spotify after Daniel Ek poured $700 million more bucks into his AI defense company, Helsing. I guess we are geeking out. AI is penetrating everything. Coming on the heels of punk duo Bob Dylan's onstage rant against the Israeli military at Glastonbury over the weekend, it does feel like a bit of a throwback to a time when musicians took career risks to speak their minds politically, whether you agree with them or not. In the or not category, country up-and-comer Gavin Adcock wants to jump into the time machine to 2024, or maybe even farther back than that. Over in Billboard, Jessica Nicholson is reporting on Adcock's rant, captured on TikTok, that Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter wasn't, quote, real country, unquote, and then without missing a beat, he exhorted his band to play some country rock. Note to Gavin, it wasn't too long ago that people were saying country rock wasn't country. And by the way, Gavin, your thoughts on Post Malone or Jelly Roll? Is that real country? Let us know. In another turn back of the clock, while we wait for Congress to pass the big, beautiful bill that will strip states of the ability to legislate AI protections, the Supreme Court announced yesterday, I thought they were done for the year, that they'll revisit a 2019 ruling against Cox Cable over Cox allegedly allowing music piracy on its platform. Who knew the Supreme Court was a bunch of retro-futurists? Okay, maybe everybody. Music piracy and cable companies. I mean, that suit was out of date in 2019. It would seem the court might have some larger and more current things to worry about. Fire up the DeLorean, Marty. Okay, so let's geek out. Swinging back into the present, speaking of that pending bill on the Senate floor, over in LinkedIn, Edward Lee has posted a handy-dandy map of AI copyright lawsuits filed in state courts, a map that may well be moot by the end of today, given that the big beautiful bill will strip states of jurisdiction over AI infringement. Just another opportunity to note that all 4 Nashville area Congress reps voted in favor of taking away Tennessee's right to enforce copyright laws against big AI. And Senator Marsha Blackburn, despite a generally music industry favorable record, looks poised to join them, throwing artists, songwriters, and rights holders, and presumably the flesh and blood Gavin Adcock, we'll get back to that in a minute, under the bus by voting for the bill. Back to Edward Lee, his map is worth saving and downloading, if only to keep score. A more positive tech development that could help all sectors of the music industry. Another handy-dandy tool. Also over in LinkedIn, music marketer Michael Epstein of Good Talk posted a new tool for everyone to use. It's the Spotify Metadata Tracker. It enables anyone to enter a song title and scrape the metadata entered on Spotify. While this doesn't clean up bad metadata at scale, it does make it easy for individuals to make sure that things are in order. A couple of artists who won't be using that tool: Velvet Sundown, Aventhus, and The Devil Inside. Why won't they be able to use that tool? Because they aren't people. They're AI-generated artists with AI-generated music and even Spotify-generated playlists on Spotify. Today we've got not one, but 2 articles covering AI-generated artists. Dylan Smith has a story on Velvet Sundown over at Digital Music News, and over at Music Business Worldwide, Tim Ingham has a deeper dive on how far the phenomenon has progressed on Spotify. For some reason, country rock seems to be the preferred genre of fake AI bands. Tim's article is entitled, "It's Worse Than You Think." But really, is it? Is an AI Hank Williams Jr. knockoff like The Devil Inside really better or worse than a flesh and blood Hank Jr. knockoff like Gavin Adcock? After all, the AI version isn't going on TikTok spouting nonsense and dog whistles about Beyoncé. Choose your own retro future dystopia adventure. I know which retro future adventure I want to choose. It's the new Maxell cassette player available in Japan with Bluetooth and USB-C. Responding to the boomlet in K-pop cassette releases, Maxell has revived cassette technology, and all of a sudden my wall of mixtapes is looking very relevant again. Ashley King has the story at Digital Music News. The device is called the Maxell MXCPP100. Oh my God, it even has a retro number name. I can sum up my feelings about this device in one word, and that one word is want. By the way, my birthday is coming up. Paging Maxell, I do product reviews. And that's it for this Retro Future Tech Tuesday. Turning back the clock just a couple of days, I wanted to tidy up a couple of things. On Thursday, we talked about a company whose name I couldn't pronounce. That was the ethical AI company Humanable. That's right. Humanable, not humanable. Much appreciation to CEO Tim Wipperman for calling me out on my dubious assertion and clearing it up in my LinkedIn feed. Thank you, Tim, and thank you also for ignoring the fact that I misspoke your name on Thursday. Support for the Unlimited Supply podcast is provided by Music Services, a division of CSAC Music Group. Music Services is pioneering technology, licensing, and administration solutions to meet the growing needs of record labels and music publishers worldwide. For more on Music Services, visit musicservices.com. And by Roy-Fi. If you need an advance to take your career to the next level, Roy-Fi has the best rates in the industry, the fairest terms, and no hidden agendas. Roy-Fi is mission-driven to give artists the independence they need. See if you're eligible for an advance at Roy-Fi. That's ROYFI.com. If you like what you hear, please hit that follow button wherever you get your pods. I live for your praise and encouragement in person, but it helps a lot more if you drop us a rating and or a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify, and tell a friend or three, preferably 21 times. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions like Tim Wipperman, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.